Hiya. In this video, I'm going to be giving you some tips on how to prepare for an audition. All the stuff that you should be doing, all the stuff you should avoid doing, and everything in between. The first rule is research. It's so important. Research, if you're performing a monologue, research that monologue. Research the era, the period, the genre. Know what you're talking about. If you're reading from the point of a character, know who that character is. Know what point they are in their timeline. Know why you're saying the monologue. Particularly if you're doing something that maybe is a little bit more difficult. So if you're doing, for example, if you're reading a Shakespearean monologue, make sure you know what it means and you're not just blurting out words. Even if you do it with your best voice and best movements and the rest of it, if you don't know what you're saying, it's not going to come across very well. Research it. If you're going with an agency, research that agency. Most agencies have a website. Check out the website, but just find out everything. You may well go to an audition reading a monologue, and you might have the casting people ask you about that monologue, maybe why you chose it, if it was optional, or how it makes you feel, things like this. So research, know everything. Number 2, voice. Ensure that your voice is well thought out. If it's something that you've prepared, think about rhythm, pause, pace, pitch, volume, projection, all these things that are so important, and why are you doing them? For example, if you're playing someone who is very extroverted, you might decide to speak louder, you might decide to be a lot more rhythmical and less pause, whereas if you're someone who's introverted, you might pause a little bit more, have a little bit of a broken voice, speak a little bit more softly. Think about that. If you're going for something that's maybe improvised, maybe you're going for more of an interview audition than a sort of preparing a monologue where you don't know what you'll be asked to do. Make sure that you, I always like, before I go into a sort of, where I don't know what I'm going to be doing, I sit outside and I just make sure that my breathing is right, that I'm not either flustered or breathing too slowly, so that I know what I'm saying, and speak slowly. It's something that I struggle with so much, as you probably have gathered. If you're in an interview, speak slowly. You don't want to be jumbling up with your words, because then they don't know what you're saying and they're going to miss it. Okay? Number 3, think about your actions. Actions tell people so much about you. There's this big thing about a handshake, and when you meet someone for the first time, make sure you give them a strong, firm handshake. No one likes a soft hand. It makes you look weak, and sometimes it means you've got something to hide. There's lots of psychological bits behind it. Make sure you've got a strong handshake. If you're someone that's particularly strong, don't make it too strong that you end up hurting the person that you're giving the handshake to, because that doesn't work so well either. And when you present yourself, doesn't matter if you're going for a moody character, a happy character, whatever character you're going for, be friendly. Directors like to work with people that they know they're going to get on with. I think the last thing that I want is to cast someone in a role, even if the role is moody, if they're going to be moody, because that's not what I want. I want them to be friendly. Give them a smile, introduce yourself, say it's lovely to meet you, and at the end, when you leave, again, shake their hand. Pleasure to meet you. Looking forward to hearing from you soon, something like that. In terms of your monologue, make sure you get your movements spot on. Something I like to do with a monologue is mark each bit of the monologue where I'm going to do an action. It might be as simple as just a sort of, I don't know, an eyebrow raise. You can't see that, my hair's in the way. An eyebrow raise, or a nose flare, or, you know, some sort of pout. It might be something with your hands. It might be your gait, the way that you move or walk across a certain scene. Think about, if you're doing a monologue, I wouldn't say rely on it, but are you going to use, you may very well go in there and there may be a chair there. Are you going to use a chair? How are you going to use that? How is it going to enhance your performance and make you look like a better performer? Think about your movement, the whole way that you represent yourself as a character. If you're a moody character, where are your legs going to be? Are you going to stand with your hands on your hips? Are you going to stand very tall, or are you going to make yourself quite small? The next tip is learn. Regardless of whether you take your monologue into an audition or if you actually have to learn it off by heart anyway, learn it. What I always say whenever I'm casting something, I always say to the auditionees, learn it off by heart, bring it in and hold it with you when you're doing the audition. Because if you learn it off by heart, you're not standing there like this reading from the paper. You can focus on your performance, and your performance will be better. At the same time, if you don't have it with you and you suddenly get mind blank, which has happened to me and people I know many occasions, you've got it there in front of you. It's still there to rely on. It's still there just in case, but don't rely on it. Learn your piece. It will make your performance better. My next tip, which is something that I've discussed already a little bit, breathe. Seems like an obvious one, I know, but make sure you breathe. Breathe at the right points. You don't want to be talking so much and forget to breathe, and then suddenly you start panting because you're out of breath. So breathing is really, really important. Do some meditating before you go in. Always really, really helps me. Breathing in and out. My next tip, warm up exercises. Warm up your body. Never do any acting, any performing, anything without warming up your body. So this is your body and your voice. So to warm up your body, move your jaw around. Move your face around. Get your eyebrows up and down. Move your eyes around. Okay? Look like you're a bit insane. That's how you should be looking. Move your fingers around. Move your arms around. Do some stretches. Do some weird, holistic sort of movements. They're going to help your body. Stretch your facial muscles. So, and tense. Shake it out. Shake everything out. Shake your arms about. Shake your head about. Shake your legs about. You want to be free. If you're playing a character that's meant to be really stiff, it doesn't matter. You can always tone it down. You can't bring it up. If you're really stiff in the first place, you cannot make your character any bigger. If you're already big, well then you can always go smaller. Okay, that's my general tip, and that's my tip with everything. It's the same as always go over the top in an audition. Don't go ridiculously over the top that they think they need to put you into an asylum or something. But go a little bit over the top. The directors know they can always bring you down. They can't make you bigger. It's very difficult. With projection, if someone speaks loudly and projects themselves, a director can always say to them, actually, you don't need to do that. Be a bit quieter. But if someone comes into an audition and speaks like this, the director might not know they have it in them to speak louder. I'm coming off really weird at the moment, aren't I? But doesn't matter, because the whole point of being an actor is about humiliating yourself. And if you can do that, my friend, you are a bloody good actor. You also have to be able to act. That's important too. In terms of your voice, make animal noises, because they really get your voice going. Moo, neigh, do some brrr, do some of those lip trills, brrr, and tongue trills, and with a lip trill, brrr, you will spit. If you don't spit while you're doing it wrong. As someone said in Friends, best thing about, what is it? The key to being an actor is when you speak, you spit. You have to get your words out. Have a go at doing some riddles, tongue twisters. And when you do the tongue twisters, spit them out. Not Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked, but Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? I've got spit all over my camera. That is what you need to do. You need to make sure that your mouth is all warmed up. Go through the alphabet really phonetically. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Go through it, A, B, G, K, D. Make sure you've got all those ticking sounds that harshly enunciate all your sounds. Get those words out. Read through some tongue twisters. The general rule for warm-up, if you've not made yourself look like an idiot, you've not warmed up properly. If you want, just script this video and do exactly what I'm doing, because this is basically what I would do for a warm-up, other than my legs aren't moving. Make sure you move your legs. You don't want to be falling over, you don't want a numb leg. Those are my general tips for an audition. Remember, the casting directors aren't there to make you feel worried or concerned or depressed. They are there to get the perfect casting. You are there to make yourself show that you are the perfect person for that character. If you don't get a part, it doesn't mean you're not good enough as an actor. It means you just don't suit the part. You don't have the right look. Don't fail. Keep going. You will maybe eventually find it. You might never find a part. That happens. It's life if you're an actor. Move on. Keep going. Don't give up. Tips for the audition. Try and stay calm. Nerves are fine, okay? Be nervous. It's great to be nervous. I'm always a little bit nervous for an audition. You should be. turn those nerves into something that's exciting. Turn them into excitement. Don't become too excited because you might suddenly become flustered and a bit all over the place. But nerves are alright. As I've said, be friendly to the casting panel. Don't be a diva. I've met several people who you meet them and they're so unfriendly. They sit there like this, with like they're pouting their lips and they just look moody and miserable, and you're like, I don't want to work with you. Don't care how experienced you are. You're giving that attitude. I don't want to work with you. Be friendly, okay? My next tip, don't expect anything from an audition. I'm not saying don't go in thinking I'm going to get this. That is exactly how you should be going in. You should go into an audition saying, I'm perfect at this part, I'm going to get it. Think that all the way through the audition. As soon as you leave that audition room, forget about it. Because the odds are you're not going to get it. It's simple fact. It's very unlikely. The odds are there are more people going for the part than there is parts available, okay? Don't expect yourself to get it after you've got it. Don't worry about rejection. Just don't think about it. If you don't get the part, you don't get the part. Move on. Go for something else, okay? And the thing with auditions is the more you go for, the better you get at them. Always act professional. You know, if you go to an audition, present yourself in a nice way. Make sure you know what you're doing, because the more professional you look, the more likely you are to get the part. If you get a part, if you're working on a set, for instance, don't muck around. Don't be taking pictures. If you happen to be working someone who maybe you're a fan of or maybe is quite famous, don't go up to them and be like, oh my God, I love you. I'm your biggest fan, because you will get chucked off that set straight away. Act professional. If you are only doing acting because you are a big fangirl or boy and you're trying to meet your star, you're going in it for the wrong reasons. You're not going to do very well, okay? Being honest with you. Do what you are told. Sometimes a casting director will ask you to change the way you've done something. I recently did an audition and I did a monologue and they said, actually, can you do it this way instead? I liked what you did, but can you do it this way instead? And I did, and they said, great, you took criticism, well, it wasn't criticism, you took our feedback really well and you responded to it correctly and made changes. Don't think to yourself, well, no, I'm not doing it your way, I'm doing it my way, because they know what is best. They are the ones that are casting this. They're looking for something and they're trying to get it out of you, okay? So do what you are told. And most importantly, have fun. Don't let an audition stress you out. If a part is meant to be, it's meant to be and you get it. And if it's not, then don't worry about it. Keep going on. There are so many successful actors and actresses who are beyond famous now, who auditioned for so many drama schools and so many parts before they got their break. So don't give up. Keep going for it. At the same time, do take reality into the situation. We are living in a world where money is so important. And if you want to grow up and you want to raise a family, and if you're particularly materialistic and you want all these things, then I'm afraid that maybe acting isn't the best thing for you to do. You have to not go into it thinking I'm doing it for the money, or the fame. You have to go into it thinking this is what I love. And I can tell you from experience, when you audition for a part, not thinking, oh, I really, this is gonna make me famous, I'm gonna get rich, you're not gonna get it. If you go in for a part thinking, oh, this is so much fun, I love this, I'm gonna put so much work into it and effort into it, you are more likely to succeed. That is the honest truth. And last thing is, break a leg. Make sure that everyone tells you to break a leg and do amazingly in your audition. As always, if anyone wants to talk about audition stuff with me, if you want to maybe post a link to an audition that you're planning or something like that, please feel free to, and I will leave comments or send me a message or something like that, and I will get back to you. I have had no professional experience as a casting director, but I have had a lot of experience as a sort of an Amdram casting director, and I know how these things work and I know the process of it. So please, please, please feel free to contact me. As always, I ask very nicely that you subscribe to my channel, that you like this video, give it a thumbs up, that you leave some comments, whether they be positive or feedback or whatever, leave them. Check out my Twitter, at MrMusicalfanboy. Share my videos on Facebook or Twitter or whatever if you can, I really appreciate it. Have a great week, and if anyone's got any requests for videos or blogs, please let me know. Remember, you can check out my blog, www.musicalfanboy.com, for all my stuff. All the videos and all my posts are on there. Please check it out, and I hope you have a great day and a fantastic summer. See you soon. Bye.